Hello? Hello? Mic. Mute.
Okay, Assalamualaikum. A very good morning to everyone. Okay, so 2 minutes before we start, so let's start the program with Al-Fatiha. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okay, I will hand over the program to our MC and moderator today, Ms. Zilfa. Okay.
Assalamualaikum and a very good morning. What can we do? Okay, I would just like to tell everyone in the Zoom today to mute your mics when you are not supposed to say anything during the session. Okay, thank you so much. Assalamualaikum and a very good morning. Welcome to our first Go Global webinar 2022 entitled Embracing Cultural Harmony, organized by the Academy of Language Studies UITM Cawangan Negeri Sembilan, Campus Kuala Pilah. Thank you so much for joining us for today's webinar. I am Zilfa Zainal Abidin, the moderator for today's webinar. Before we begin, here's a few housekeeping notes. To all participants, please turn off your microphone throughout the session. Yeah, this is very important. Number two, we are live on 2 platforms, which are Zoom and YouTube Live. If you have any questions during the presentation, please type your questions in the chat box and we will read it out for the Q&A session. Next, training hours for UITM staff and e-certificates for all participants will be provided at the end of the session. Links for attendance will be shared on both platforms at the end of the session. And then all slides and recordings and documents will be shared via Google Classroom for students. And finally, we will also have a photo session after the Q&A session. So please stay on for the photo taking session. Ladies and gentlemen, I am very happy to welcome today's Dr. Sharifah Sheha of UITM and Dr. Masrul of Universitas Palawan. I will now introduce our speaker from UITM. Dr. Sharifah Sheha Said Aziz Baftim is a senior lecturer at the Academy of Language Studies UITM Cawangan Negeri Sembilan, Campus Kuala Pilah. Dr. Sharifah Sheha holds a PhD in TESOL, an MA in English, and a BA in English and Communications. Dr. Sheha has served UITM for over 21 years. She is currently the head of the Academy of Language Studies in UITM Kuala Lumpur. Past positions that were held by Dr. Sharifa Shiha, among others, include she was the coordinator of the Academy of Language Studies International Affairs. She was the head of UITM Kuala Lumpur Auditing System. And she was the coordinator of Student Soft Skills Module Development for the Academy of Language Studies Kuala Lumpur. Her research interests include thinking skills and the teaching and learning strategies. In her pastime, Dr. Shiha reads, watches movies, and does crochet. I would now like to invite Ms. Vitri Anggriani Hadi to introduce the guest speaker from Universitas Palawan.
Thank you, Ms. Zulfa. Good morning, everyone. Well, I would like to introduce the speakers
Sorry,
from
Vitri, we cannot
University.
hear you.
Okay. Can you hear me now, Dr. Rafida?
We still can't hear you. Huh?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you very much, Ms. Zulfa. Well, I would like to introduce the speakers from University of Pahlawan. We have Dr. Masro MPD. So Dr. Masro MPD has been joining his university for about 12 years, and he held a bachelor degree in English literature. And after that, he continued his study at a master degree in English language and education, and he held the doctoral degree in education. Well, Mr. Masro now is the head of English language education and study program, and he was the head of language center from 2016 to 2020. Well, his research interest is on language assessment. Well, I think that's all about Mr. Masro. I give it back to Ms. Zilfa. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Vitri. Without further ado, I would like to invite Dr. Sharifa Shiha and Dr. Masrul to start the session. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Ms. Zilfa and also Ibu Vitri. All right, so Assalamualaikum and a very good afternoon to all. Today, both Dr. Masrul and I will be presenting on the topic of culture, and our topic will cover embracing cultural harmony. So in doing so, we will be exchanging ideas on Malaysian and Indonesian culture at the same time. So Dr. Masrul, how are you doing?
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Okay, so are we ready to get started?
Yep, we're ready.
Okay then. So I will start first by just mentioning a little bit on culture. Okay, because what is culture actually? Okay, so next. Okay, so according to the Oxford Dictionary, the definition of culture is actually the customs and beliefs, art, way of life, and social organization of a particular country or group. Okay, so basically, when you talk about culture, is the way of life. Okay, it's the way of life of the people in that particular country. So it covers lifestyles, language, food, tradition, beliefs, handicrafts, clothing, okay, and so on. So that's what basically it's all about. So what I am trying to say here is that culture is a very, very vast aspect. So there are a lot of things to cover, and it's not enough to cover everything for this particular 1 hour. So we are going to kind of select, okay, a few things that we feel that would be very, very informative to all, because these are the common areas, okay, that we hold, okay, in our lives. All right. So going next, okay, we are going to begin by sharing on the population of Malaysia and Indonesia. Okay, so this is important because if we do not know who are the people who live here, and then we would not understand what the culture of the country is all about. Okay, because culture and the people are very much related. So in Malaysia, the population consists of people of so many different races, religions, and the largest group of Malaysians consists of three main races, which are the Malays and Bumiputras, the Chinese, and the Indians. When you talk about Bumiputras, they cover the natives in Peninsular Malaysia who are called Orang Asli, and they are generally divided into three major groups, namely the Negrito, Senoi, and Proto-Malay. For the Sabah's population, it consists of 32 ethnic groups, but the major ethnic is Kadazan Dusun, while Sarawak, the population consists of 27 ethnic groups, and Iban would be the major ethnic group for Sarawak. So by looking at this, we can see how diverse the population is. And when there is this such diversity, meaning that there will be a diversity in the culture itself. All right. So I would like to hand over to Dr. Masrol for his explanation for the population in Indonesia. To you, Dr. Masrol.
Okay, thank you. Well, thanks for the time. I will to tell to you about culture in Indonesia. As we know that based on Dr. Sarifah Seha tell to us about the culture in Malay. As we know that there are culture is different in Indonesia and Malay. In Indonesia is a rich country. Not only term natural resources. The area that stretches from Sabang to Merauke make extraordinarily cultural diversity of Indonesia. Diversity motto Indonesia Bhinneka Tunggal Ika, which means different but still one. The culture that categorizes its regions. I will tell to you, Indonesia culture is a general. First, custom houses. Traditional houses are built in the same from away, from generation to generation. And the second, traditional ceremony. Traditional ceremony are one of the traditions that consider to have a value for surrounding community. Number three, tradition dress. The next diversity of Indonesia culture is traditional clothing. Traditional clothing serves are to express identity. Number four, indigenous dance. Each region has traditional dance with a different destination. There are dance to welcome dignitaries, welcome habits, fundamental ceremonies, religion ceremonies. And the last, musical instrument and song. So it is one of traditional Indonesia, as we know that musical and instrument means like pocong from Central Java, bugon from Aceh, and so on. Thank you. Next for Dr. Seha.
Yes, Dr. Masro, thank you. Yes, I would say that, Indonesia has a very, very colorful culture. Okay, because yes, it consists of so many different islands, and I do believe that there are so many beautiful places in Indonesia that we can visit. So I hope to be able to go there sometime later. Okay, so going to the next one. So now that we get to know a little bit about the population of Malaysia and Indonesia, I think one universal area that I think both Malaysians and Indonesians have are our passion towards food. So I'm going to start with that actually. So my apologies though, because I know this is the fasting month and everybody is going to drooling over all this wonderful, delicious food. But so just bear with me. So I would say in Malaysia, we consider nasi lemak as our national food. Okay, so nasi lemak is actually rice with coconut milk, and then it is eaten with other condiments such as cucumber, eggs, and also there's a sambal to it, and sometimes there are other dishes that are added to it. Okay, so nasi lemak is very famous, and it can be eaten any time of the day actually. And then we have nasi kerabu. Nasi kerabu is something that, it originates from the east coast of Malaysia, but it has become very famous throughout Malaysia now. And if you notice, the rice is blue. Okay, so the rice is colored with the essence of bunga telang or butterfly pea flower, as we say it in English. Yeah? So, and that's why it is blue. Okay. And then we have laksa. Laksa originates from the Chinese culture, but it has now, become a very diverse type of food, and you can find many different types of laksa all around Malaysia. And from the Indian culture, we now savor mee goreng mamak. Okay, it's fried noodles actually, but it's made by the Indians, very specially fried. And then we have nasi kandar. Nasi kandar is very, very popular in Malaysia, and it's very sumptuous, and it has a lot of sauce, a lot of flavors in there. And then I'll just introduce to one dessert by this is mainly this originates from the Chinese culture, which is called taufu fa. Okay, it's made of soybean. And then we have yong tau fu. Yong tau fu is a very comprehensive meal there. Yeah? So it consists of a lot of different types of seafood, and then we have vegetables, and we have the soy sauce, the chili sauce, okay, and peanuts on top of it. So, and I think satay is not something that is not familiar in Indonesia itself, because I'm pretty sure in Indonesia also you have your satay there. Okay, because I was reading on Satay Madura just recently. All right, so satay is also another type of food that is famous in Malaysia. So I'm going to stop here because if you're going to talk about food, 1 hour is not enough, right? So what about in Indonesia, Dr. Masrur?
Okay, thank you. In Indonesia, foods has many special foods. There are very tasty and delicious. In here, I will tell to you around 5 food. As we know, there are many food in area Indonesia, especially food in the taste. And the taste of the species and one the key of deliciousness of Indonesia cuisines. As Indonesia, we must be familiar with various Indonesia specialties. First, mie Aceh. Mie Aceh is come from Aceh regions. This one of the food is delicious. First is mie Aceh, and the second about sarabi. As we know that sarabi one of the food delicious is the word that can is delicious as sarabi, and the three is samba. Sambas, yeah. Is sambas one of the food in Java. And number 4 is pendap. Pendap is mean one of the fish, especially fish, pandap from the Sulawesi. Okay, and the last of Bika Ambon. As we hear is Ambon from one of the area Indonesia. It is Sulawesi Utara, beside of the Ambon. But Ambon, Bika Ambon, naturally from the Aceh. So Bika Ambon, it is not from the Ambon, but from the Aceh area. So the name is Ambon. It is not from our original in Ambon, but the Bika Ambon from the Aceh. Okay, thank you, Dr. Seha.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Masrul. Very interesting. Yeah. So we'll now proceed to some places to visit. I think Dr. Masrul actually have started out, providing me with a lot of places to visit in the Riau, okay, and Kampar. So I thought I might so share a little bit on the places to visit in Negeri Sembilan. This is where our UITM is, okay. So if you look at the little tiny state there, okay, in the middle there. So so for the places, the interesting places, if you're looking for, history, a lot of information, okay, on Negeri Sembilan, okay, there's always things to find at the State Museum and also the Royal Museum. The architecture is very, very nice. Okay, so it's something, and if you see the architecture, it's very similar to the Minang, the Minangkabau way of life. So I think that is also that is something that can be seen also in Sumatra. And then we have inscription stones. There's a lot of places with the inscription stones, or we call it batu bersurat. And then if you are, interested in the what is in the space, okay, there's always the Teluk Kemang Observatory, okay, so to visit. And then the Army Museum is something that, if ever, any of you come to Malaysia, do come and visit the Army Museum, okay. It sounds like very boring, but personally, it looks like as if it's for the guys actually. But believe me, I've been there, and I was surprised to say that I really enjoyed myself at the Army Museum there. And then we have the Kenabo State Park. It has a lot of waterfalls there. And then Batu Maloi Cave, if you are interested in something adventurous and you're not afraid of the dark. Okay, so that would be the place to go. And we have some beautiful beaches in Port Dickson also. Okay, what about in Riau, Dr. Masrul?
Okay, thank you. It is one of the place in Riau. There are Kampar or Riau and Kampar Residency. Riau has a favorite tourist destination that is Piti to Mes. Okay, when holiday to coming soon, you will to go back to Riau destination. First about Muara Takus. Okay. What is mean Muara Takus? Muara Takus temple is one of your favorites destination because it is the Buddhist temple and the only historical heritage temple in Riau. You can visit with your family. And the second about waterfall. Yeah, waterfall Pangkalan Kapas. Waterfall Pangkalan Kapas. The location of natural tourism destination is the village Lubuk Bigau in Riau. We can call Kampar Kiri. If you want to come to Riau, we'll show to you about what is mean Kampar Kiri areas. And number 3 is Raja Lake. It is the same like Papua Lake. Yeah, Raja Lake. You should be. You can invite a relative or family in the past. You can see a former buildings in the Gili River. You can see a former building in middle of the river. When the water discrete is small, Raja Lake is located within city Riau. And the next Sia, Sia Sri Indra Pura. It means the building which adopt Europeans, Arabic, and Malay architecture styles. There are, you can see several royal collection of bronze statues of Queen women. We can statue of Sultan Sharif Hasim I, made marble decorated with diamonds. I think it is one of the history of the location in Riyadh. Thank you, Dr. Sheha.
Okay, so we have so many different places to visit, yeah, in Kampar and Riau, right?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, so places to visit. Okay, the thing is that why we concentrate on this, because when you look into the buildings, okay, the different places that we can visit, actually it reflects what kind of culture that we have in that particular country. Actually, yeah. Okay, so let's move on then to the next one would be religion. Okay, so I would say in terms of religion, okay, we have many similarities in Malaysia and Indonesia. And for us, of course, the official religion is Islam. And then we also have many other different religions that are practiced in Malaysia. Okay, we have the Buddhism, Christianity, Hinduism, and then there's a lot of traditional Chinese religions. Okay, and what about in Indonesia, Dr. Masrul?
Okay. Indonesia had some many population, so there are many religion. I will tell only three religion, as we know that Islam is center one of the religion best, and the second about Vihara Avalokiteshvara. Yeah, it is now second place of the religion. And number three is Gereja St. Paulus at Pekanbaru. This is one of the religion in Riau. One faculty of Indonesia government stance religion is to recognize this, namely Islam, Protestant, Catholicism, Hinduism, Buddhism, and Confucianism. Every Indonesia is required to embrace one of these religion. It is mandatory personal data that mentioned in official documents such as passport and other identification card. Thank you, Dr. Seha.
Okay, the Dr. Masrul, the Vihara Avalokitesvara, okay, that is related to which religion, is it?
Yes, it is place of the religion.
What religion is it, actually? Is it Hinduism?
Hinduism, right.
I
Hinduism.
see. Okay. All right. Okay, thank you, Dr. Masrul. Okay.
You are welcome.
So next, okay, actually this is the last area that we're going to cover actually, is the weddings. Okay, so in Malaysia, with so many different races and religions, so we have so many different kinds of weddings. So for the Malay, okay, we have on the left hand side there, as you can see, okay, there is the solemnization event that takes place, and also the bersanding. Okay, so for Malays nowadays, okay, there's a lot of modern weddings that are also that have also been placed. Okay, but of course the traditional way of of having the wedding is still being carried out. Okay, in terms of a lot of times, the adat bersanding, because that is actually the tradition, and it's still being practiced, okay, among the Malays. And then you can see also other visuals that I've shared there, okay, on the Chinese wedding. And then we have I think the other one is the one in black, if I'm not mistaken, that comes from Kadazan wedding or Iban. I'm not sure really, but one of those, I have to check again. But then we have the Hindu wedding. Okay. And oh, now I remember the top one is Sarawak and the Sabah. Sorry, Sabah, and the one at the bottom in the boat, that is Sarawak wedding. Okay, and then we have also the Sikh. Okay, the Sikh wedding at the bottom there. So these are just some of the photos that I can share to show the weddings in Malaysia. Okay, there's so many others. Okay, Malaysia has a very interesting wedding ceremonies in here. Okay, what about in Indonesia, Dr. Masrul?
Okay, wedding in Indonesia. It is like of marriage is a ceremony of uniting two people in bond that is formalized by religion, customer, legal, and social norms. The existence of various ethnic groups, religion, culture, social classes give rise to human life. Similarity, the journey of human life. Marriage has been arranged for generations from the past. I will give you the one example about a real custom marriage. First, marriage. Marriage comes from the word "ris," which means investigate. This means that before a marriage, investigation into a girl need to be done by the man's family. The second, pasture. Marriage purpose is to determine whether the pair you want to match is actually a match or not. It is manifesto. And number three is sagas. It is the result of the investigation, so that the girl under investigation is happy. And the last deliver sings. If your proposal is welcomed by a woman's family, approved mean, then the next step is to deliver the tons. This is activity is done on the 4 until 5 day of the proposal in preparation 2 until 3 days. So this can become a marriage because each other have a good related or relationship. Thank you, Dr. Seha.
Actually, there's a lot of similarities, yeah, in the Malay wedding in Malaysia also. We do have the Merisik, okay,
Yeah,
and of course,
Merisik.
Yes, we have the Merisik, the
Pasture.
adat berinai, okay, we still
Yeah,
have that
betul.
also over here.
Right.
Yes,
That's
it's
right.
very, very similar, right? Okay, and then also we have also sometimes the performance of the silat in front of the bride and bridegroom there.
Yeah.
Yes, okay, so yes, that's something that is very similar. So actually, when you talk about, our culture is not that much difference, okay, that's why, there's a harmony in our culture actually between Malaysia and Indonesia.
Indonesia.
And yes, okay, before we end the session, I think we should share some videos, okay, to show to our audience. Yeah. Okay, so we'll start with a video showing just bits and pieces of Malaysia here. Okay, so we'll start with a video showing just bits and pieces of Malaysia here.
It's one of the most multicultural, multi-ethnic,
so
and
we'll
multi-religious
start with,
countries in the world, and I'm thrilled to be back for a third visit.
A video showing just bits and pieces of Malaysia here. Is the video showing?
The video is not showing. So we are working on the, is it? Okay, now. All right. Thank you. Members of the audience, please bear with us. So we are working on the, is it? Okay, now. All right. Thank you.
It's It's one of the most multicultural, multi-ethnic, and multi-religious countries in the world. And I'm thrilled to be
members
back
of the
for a
audience,
third
please.
visit.
I'm a Nonya, Chinese, Siamese,
we
and
are
adopted
working on
Kalabit.
the-
I'm Trindian and I'm
Okay, now, alright.
Malaysian. I'm a Thai Malay Malaysian.
I'm a Malay, Mama, Chinese, and a Malaysian.
We are Kazan. We are Eurasian.
My dad is Malay and my mom is Chinese.
I'm Malay and Indian.
I'm a Chinese but culturally Filipino.
It's one of the
Out
most
of the 32 million
multicultural,
people living in this
multi-ethnic,
nation,
and
only about
multi-religious
half
countries
of
in the
them
world.
can call
And I'm
themselves
thrilled to be back for a third visit.
23% or 8 million people are,
I'm Trindian and I'm Malaysian. I'm a Thai Malay
7% are,
I'm a Malay, Mama, Chinese, and a
and the
Malaysian.
rest of them are just
We are Eurasian.
Malaysia's official religion is Islam, attracting 61% of the population.
It's
In
one of
fact,
the most
ethnic
multicultural,
Malaysian people are living in Muslims
multi-ethnic,
by
and
only about
multi-religious
half of
countries in the
them, religion
world.
called
And I'm
Buddhism
thrilled
at
to be
20%,
back for a
then
third
Christianity
visit.
at
I'm a
10%,
Nonya,
and
Chinese,
48 million
Siamese,
people.
and adopted
This incredible diversity of Malaysia's people is reflected in its cuisine, language, and the rest of them. We're looking at its food. Malaysia's official religion is Islam, attracting 61% of the population.
It's one of the most
Ethnic
multicultural,
Malaysian people living in this
multi-ethnic,
nation by
and
only about half of
multi-religious
them,
countries in the world.
religion called
And I'm
Buddhism
thrilled
at
to be back
20%,
for a
then
third
Christianity
visit.
at 10%, and 48 million people. My favorite this incredible diversity of Muslims, 7% is banana. Let's talk about language and the rest of them. We're looking at its food. Malaysia's official religion is Islam, attracting 61% of the population.
It's one of the most multicultural, multi-ethnic,
by
and
China,
multi-religious countries in the world. And I'm thrilled to be back for a third visit.
and 48 million people. My favorite this incredible diversity of Muslims, 7% is banana. Let's talk about language and the rest of them. We're looking at its food. Malaysia's official religion is Islam, attracting 61% of the population. By China,
Okay, there's some technical problem there. Yeah. Okay, maybe we can continue with the video from Indonesia.
Ladies and gentlemen, please bear with us. We are sorting out the video. There's some problems that has arisen, so please bear with us.
Ms. Zilfa, do we have any questions maybe that we can go into first?
Sure. That's actually an interesting question that we can ask Dr. Masrul. I noticed that from the slides that Riau is called Serambi Mecca or the veranda of Mecca. We also have a state here in Malaysia called the Serambi Mecca. So it'd be interesting to ask why is Riau called the veranda of Mecca? That's our question.
Okay, it is a good question. It's the same as Serambi Mecca in Riau and Serambi Mecca in Malay. As we know that in Riau, Serambi Mecca, because most of the population in Riau is Islamic. There are many activities from the religion in Islamic. For example, telling about religion and give some advice for some people. And also there are many mosques in Riau. Serami Mekamin, there are many activities from people in the Riau. For example, activity at the Moscow and activity in the outside of the Moscow, like the cultural activities. Serami Mekamin here is also there are many terms or kinds activity for the people. For example, we can go to makam, makam sultan. It is some activity from the religion. So it is mean about the Serami Mekah in Riau. But I don't know about the Serami Mekah in Malay. Mungkin maybe Mrs. Zelfa Zainal you can tell to us about the Serami Mekah in Malay.
Yeah, there is a state, one of the states in the East Coast called Kelantan. If you have heard of Kelantan before, so yes, jadi di sana the state is declared as an Islamic state. Yeah, so that's why it's interesting to know that you have also such labeling. Yeah, so thank you so much, Dr. Masrul, for the explanation.
You are welcome.
Okay, we will now proceed with the video from Indonesia. Please enjoy.
Riau. It is bounded by the province of North Sumatra, Sumatera Utara to the north and northwest, by the Strait of Malacca to the east and Berhala Strait to the southeast, and by the provinces of Jambi to the south and West Sumatra, Sumatera Barat to the west. Total area of 632.3 square kilometers. Population 6.657.911 people, 2017. Pekanbaru is one of Indonesia's cities, a capital for Riau province on the island of Sumatra. Total area of 632.3 square kilometers. The special characteristics of the metropolis city are seen from office and luxury hotels. Grand Mosque of Pekanbaru. Opened 1963. Siak is a district in Riau province that was once the center of the Islamic Sultanate in Riau, namely Siak Sri Indrapura. Siak Palace is settled in Siak Regency, Riau, as the heritage from the biggest Islam Malay kingdom in Riau at ancient time. This palace was built since 1889. This bridge was inaugurated August 11, 2007. Is an Indonesian-owned island located in the Straits of Malacca, close to the Malaysian border. Jammer Island is famous for its natural panoramas such as white sand beaches and green turtle habitat. The waters around this island are known as fish-producing areas.
Okay, so that was the video. Hope everybody enjoyed watching that interesting video from our Indonesian counterpart. All right, so there's a question here for Dr. Shiha. Okay. All right, the question is, Dr. Shiha, since the pandemic started in 2020, learning has been done online. How can the learning of culture be intensified so it will benefit the university students?
Okay. Thank you for the question, Ms. Zilfa. Okay, it's a very interesting question. Because, okay, you talk about the learning of culture. How can it be intensified? I think mainly it can be intensified and, by making sure that there are co-curriculum activities that covers some parts of culture. Okay, I think students can learn and learn a lot and appreciate culture through the co-curriculum activities. And it's understandable because of the online learning. Sometimes, it's not very easy to have co-curriculum activities, through online. However, I think now that we are going into the endemic session now, so I think students, we are now like getting back into our normal positions there. So there's no problem in getting involved in co-curriculum activities, and if students do that and have some aspects of culture being integrated in the activities, in the co-curriculum activities, I think it will be very, very interesting, and that will help actually students and a lot of other people to appreciate culture more. Okay, that's my answer.
Yes, I've just unmuted myself. All right, thank you so much, Dr. Shiha, for answering the question. So this is one question for Dr. Masrul. So have you ever been to Malaysia, Dr. Masrul?
Yep, I ever go to Malaysia around 2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years.
2 years.
3. Yeah,
2 or
3
3 years ago.
3 years ago,
Where,
before pandemic.
Before the pandemic, and where exactly did you go? Where exactly did you go?
I will go to Kuala Lumpur. I follow the international conference in
There was
Kuala
a
Lumpur.
there was a conference. Okay, just out of curiosity, what was some of your memorable experience when you came visiting Kuala Lumpur? I hope that there were.
There are many memorable when I visit the Malay. It's a very beautiful countries. I think there are many building. I think building, and there are many some good food also. When I go to the Malay, it is my memorable. And also I will visit. What is the place of the Menteri?
Menteri Putrajaya?
Putrajaya. Yeah, Putrajaya. I also visit Putrajaya. Is a very very good places when I visit there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I'm very glad to hear all the good things said about KL and Putrajaya. Thank you.
Yeah.
Please
Thank
come
you
and
very
visit
much.
us again. Come and visit us
Absolutely.
again.
I wanna go there again.
Okay.
And I wanted to meet
All right.
Dr. Se also.
Yes, of course, of course. All right, sure. Going on to the next stage of the webinar. All right. Right, thank you. All right. With that question to Dr. Masrul, we have come to the end of the webinar. But before we go, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have a photo session. Yeah. So let's on your cameras. Yeah. Please turn on your cameras now. Thank you for the photo session. We really appreciate your cooperation. Okay, let's give about 15 seconds. 15 seconds for everybody to turn on their cameras. Okay. Cantik kan? All right. I will count 1 until 3. When everybody's ready, are we ready? Screen capturer. Okay. All right. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Smile. Lagi, yes. Continue smiling. Some freestyle maybe. Okay, are we done? Another one. One more. Smile. We've got one person with a cute animal head there. Damia Zaifor. All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much, Dr. Sharifah Sheha and Dr. Masrul, for such an enlightening session on culture. I hope everybody has found the session interesting and beneficial. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. We appreciate your willingness to be here with us throughout the session. And before I end the session, you have 5 more what? So, okay. This is our first session and we have 5 more coming. Yeah. All right. All interesting topics. Okay. I would like to remind everyone to fill the feedback form for the e-certs. You will be getting e-certificates. Yeah. Okay. For our participants on Zoom, please stay back to listen for further explanation on some tasks that you're going to get. And for our participants on YouTube Live, we will see you again in the coming sessions. Please do join us for our coming sessions. There are 5 sessions with very, very interesting and useful topics. Okay, till we meet again. Assalamualaikum.
Okay, participants on Zoom, please stay. We have some announcement from Dr. Sheha, okay, regarding the task that you have to complete. All right.